Patreon.com/fuckyouintheface. What up, what's happening, everybody? My name is Charles Blades, and this is the Current Gaming Podcast, episode 58. I am joined by none other than David De Gea's hands, Drew Scheffler.
Are they fumbly?
He had a howler today, that they would say.
Yeah, he did.
It was the best goalkeeper in the world.
Well, everyone has an off day.
Yeah, evidently.
That it's the first day of the World Cup.
Yeah, that's a bad one. That's a bad one to do it.
I take that as a compliment then.
Oh yeah.
I still take it as a compliment. David De Gea's hands.
We had a nice brisk 2-man show for you this week. The rest of the gang is out camping. Drew, how do you feel about camping?
It's dumb, man.
Yeah, camping's dumb, right? Like, why we evolved to have houses in technology. Mm-hmm. Why do we want to revert back to our Cro-Magnon state?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Drugs.
I guess. I don't like bonfires either. Fire is bad when it's not contained.
Fire. I'm alright with fires, but like I like the ability to just go inside to a nice air conditioned room.
Poop where you want. Not where you want, but like poop in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Not having to worry about wiping your ass with leaves.
And to go out with a bunch of people like that, like I ain't trying to.
Not my style.
Bathroom.
Not my style.
No.
That is for sure. We got a good show for you this week. We got a lot of post E3 stuff and some pre E3 stuff that we didn't talk about because of the whole E3 extravaganza last week. We're going to talk about some everybody's hottest topic, Fortnite. We're going to talk about some. I don't know, some other shit. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I didn't skim over the list real quick. But first up is about Steam. So Steam, if you don't know, is the PC like mega store that basically just runs all of PC gaming. They came out and announced a new kind of highlighted what their policy is regarding content that goes up on their store. And this story comes from Kotaku and Nathan Grayson. It reads, in recent times, Valve has struggled to draw the line in terms of what is allowed on Steam. Controversy has raged over the removal of games with explicit sexual content, as well as objectionable themes like the glorification of school shooters. In response to all of this, Valve has decided to open the floodgates even wider. In a blog post musing on the difficulty of deciding on a case-by-case basis what should and should not be allowed on Steam, Valve's Eric Johnson explained that the company does, in fact, have a team of humans that look at every controversial title submitted to us, and employees frequently disagree like Steam users do. Quote, the harsh reality of this space that lies in the root of our dilemma is that there's absolutely no way we can navigate it without making some of our players really mad, Johnson wrote. And so Valve has come to the conclusion to allow everything, but give users tools to avoid games they find most egregious. We've decided that the right approach is to allow everything onto the Steam store except for things that we decide are illegal or straight up trolling, said Johnson. Taking these approaches allows us to focus less on trying to police what should be on Steam and more on building those tools to give people control over what kinds of content they see. So Drew, what do you make of this? What do you make of this decision? Is this the way Steam should work going forward, basically?
I mean, it's interesting because I think that sometimes games that maybe, you take for example like a Gal Gun or something that's like overtly sexual and stuff, and like I personally, as long as there's no I know we talked about it in an episode many months back with Aaron. Like, as long as it's not, like, sexualizing children and stuff, I don't think that there's anything necessarily wrong with that. But just allowing anything and everything, and you say you're still, like, policing it and things that are illegal or whatever, like, isn't that what they should already be doing?
Yeah.
You know, like, you should already be, like, if there's games that are illegal, but, like, I mean, for example, not that I think this would be a game that I would take down or anything by any means, but like you have games all the time, and I'm sure somewhere on Steam you might be able to find a game of like running a drug ring or something. Like they have those weed shop games, you know what I'm saying? And marijuana's not legal in every state, so technically could you say that playing a game that encourages the growth and sale of marijuana in a game could be an illegal
because
game.
at that point it's just like if it's encouraging illegal behavior, like then GTA shouldn't be on the Steam store, like at that point, like because like like there's so many games in which you're doing like illegal stuff. So like that, like, and he says straight up trolling. That's like the grayest definition possible that you can give. Like that's like saying something without really saying anything. Like if we decide like it's straight up trolling, well, how does that decision process work? That is not. And the thing I think is like so I understand like people have differences of opinion. I think if I ran a store in which I sold games and someone presented me the opportunity to sell in my store a game that allowed you to shoot up a school, as like, and that's the game. There's no context. It's just the school shoot 'em up simulator. Probably wouldn't want to sell that on my store. That's just me. I have like integrity. If there was a game called AIDS Simulator where it's simulated giving people AIDS, probably wouldn't want to sell that on my store. But again, I have integrity. Valve says, "No, we don't have integrity." I kind of feel like in this move. And in doing that, like I don't know, it just fucking they say. We do have a team of humans that looks at every controversial title submitted to us. Bullshit. You do not. That is not like if you did, we would know about it. Like that's like a team of hundreds of people do that. Not they're like making it sound like, oh, it's a nice little room, a board, like, and they disagree all the time in that little room. No, they don't have somebody like that's fucking bullshit. And I don't know, just I understand from a egalitarian point of view, you want to have as many like because that's how stuff like Minecraft gets invented and stuff like just random games that you don't think you're gonna find an audience because maybe they're like kind of trashy or buggy here or there, but like they catch on, something about them catches on, and they kind of take hold. But I don't know, there's no benefit in allowing school shooting simulator on your platform. Like I'm sorry, there's
no, and I mean, and like Steam's already piled on with like all the shovelware and everything, and like just absolute garbage games. There's no like there's no criteria that games really have to meet anyways. I mean, you look at the green light program, which is good for some games, but so many games come in just as a chance to make a quick buck or two for like, you know, just the developers that are making the games. But I mean, this is putting even less control over what games come out on that. And like if I wanted to find something, normally if I go on Steam, I already know what I'm looking for, so it's very easy because I just search, you know. But like if you were somebody that's PC gaming and like, you know, similar to how I do on
the way you use the eShop,
like,
whatever rise to the
top
top there.
Check it. Yeah, and I check the eShop every day because it can be anywhere from like 1 to at the most I've seen like 12 games go up in a day, but there's a way that, you know, and that's something that I play every day, so I want to be able to check it. If I'm a PC gamer and I go on Steam and I'm like, oh, well, let's see what came out today. There could literally be thousands.
Oh, yeah.
And none of those games could be good because...
And you're saying literal in, like, the actual sense of the word. Like, there are actually thousands of games. Like, not in the hyperbolic sense.
Somewhere online you could find a number of, like, the average amount of games that goes up on Steam a day. And I'm sure it's, like, it's an absurd number. But, like, someone that, you know, oh, well, I played GTA and The Witcher 3, and I want to play something a little bit smaller, something new. Well, now you gotta, you know, scrub through all of these fucking games, and 9 times out of 10, they're just like empty experiences, or they're just unfinished games. So there's already like such a lack of control on Valve and Steam's part that this just makes it even worse.
Yeah, and the other thing that bothers me with this quote is where he says, "There's no way we can navigate it without making some of our players really mad." If one of your players gets really mad for you taking a school shooting simulator off your store, that's kind of not the player you should want. I'm being totally honest with you.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's probably not the best audience to cater to, because like at the end of the day, that's what you're doing with this move, is you're catering to the lowest common denominator of people that come to buy stuff in your store. And it's just, I don't know. It's not like frustrating in the sense that like, oh, now this makes navigation harder. It's like just disappointing to see that a company that has so much like a wealth of influence in the gaming space has no like real moral compass when it comes to this issue, in my opinion. So yeah, that is it about Steam. This next story is about some more companies without a moral compass, and that is Sony, kind of, but it's come from Kotaku and Luke Plunkett. It's about Fortnite on Switch. And it reads, Fortnite players who have had Epic accounts on PS4 and have tried to play the new Nintendo Switch version of the game are reporting that they've run into a problem. They're not allowed to use the same account. That's right. If you have played the game on PlayStation 4, even just once, that's enough to have gotten your account locked on the system. It goes the other way, too. If you link your Epic account to Switch, you're locked out of PS4. Oh, goodness. This is justifiably infuriating to people who have picked up the new Switch version, since they might well have been hoping to play on PS4 while at home and move to Switch while out and about. Or expecting at least to be able to jump between the game on PC, Mac, mobile, and Xbox One like they do in the latest edition. So, me and you, obviously huge Fortnite players. We got a dub yesterday. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
We got a real easy dub yesterday where we had like 2 kills or something.
It was pretty simple.
But and I know we've been playing. We're going to talk about our experience on the Switch. But what the fuck is this move?
I don't know, man. We all knew this was coming, and it was gonna be probably announced like that. What is it, Monday? It was gonna be available right away.
Yeah.
And it was. Downloaded it, and I knew that the experience probably wouldn't be the same. Mm-hmm. Like, when we'll get into that, but like immediately trying to log in to my Epic account, which is, we play on PlayStation, so it's already linked to that, like this story says, and telling me that because it's linked to that, it can't link here. It's just like, it was just absolutely disheartening. Like, and I played Hollow Knight for a little bit, you know, racking my brain. Do I want to just make a new account just to try it, just have something to say on this? Because, you know, we've both spent money. Me more so than you, but like I spent over $200 on Fortnite and cosmetics and like Battle Pass and everything. And I don't know who to blame more, whether I blame Sony more or I blame Epic more, because Epic should be a universal account. So there shouldn't be any locks on that. And the fact that just because I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so what's the communication between Epic and Sony on this?
It has to be Sony, because there's no because you can do it on every other platform. It's just the PlayStation one that you can't do it on. So like, it's Sony chopping like the knees of their competitor, or they're hamstringing Epic in this regard, because they put out a statement where talking about the crossplay, where Sony said, hey, there's 8 million PS4s in the wild. There's plenty of people to play on there. We don't need crossplay. And like, that's really like shitty and like kind of like fuck off. Like, that's just hubris, like run amok kind of. But like, I somewhat get that. Like, and it is true. It's not hard to find a game on Fortnite. When you log into Fortnite, you instantly get in a game. But this is like you have spent a bunch of money. Caleb has spent a bunch of money. Bobby, who we've all streamed with, has spent a bunch of money on this game. Me, like, I would like to carry my progression over so I can, like, maybe get some, like quests done or whatever. But, like, it's not the end of the world for me. But still, even, like, I've gotten used to playing, like, I play the Neon Girl skin or whatever, where it's, like, she's at a rave. And, like, I got onto the Switch one and I have to play a no skin. And it's like, I'm definitely not going to fucking spend money on it on Switch, because my profile is on the PS4 one. So that fucks Epic, because now I'm sure there's plenty of people in the same boat as me in that regard, where they're just like, well, I don't want to spend money on this account that I can't. This is like my burner account that I'm going to not carry over, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It just, the whole thing seems like a fucking mess to me.
Yeah, it just, and like you're saying, like, it's not that big a deal. Like, in regard, like, I guess, you know, it's just cosmetic stuff, so it's not really, like, that big a deal bringing it over.
It's not, but at the same time it is, because it's so, like, it's a huge focus of that game is the cosmetics.
Oh, no, yeah, I totally agree, and that's what I was, like, getting at, is the cosmetics and, like, what you've earned by completing the Battle Pass tiers and, like, having the John Wick skin, even though I don't use it, and, like, unlocking his tier 100 challenges. I'm not saying it as like, oh, I'm super proud I did this, but like that shows kind of like, that's an accomplishment that you can show. And like, for me, my little brother he has a Switch and a PC. His PC is dated, so he isn't able to play Fortnite with us. So this is a way for me to play with him. It would have been nice to, you know, and he's talking already. He's like, oh, well, we're playing this a lot, so I was thinking about getting the Battle Pass. I told him I would just wait till next season. That way you can get everything. But like, it kind of sucks, because when I'm playing with him, like you said, you just come in as a no skin, and now we kind of fit that fucking meme that's been going around. Don't fuck with the no skins.
Oh yeah.
We're 300+ hour guys that have been playing this for a while, and we know the tips and tricks and everything. And now it's like, somebody tries to run up on us and we just fuck them up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
it reminds me kind of like in Overwatch when you get 3,000, I think it is, like competitive points, you can buy the golden gun with a certain character, and that's how you like kind of not like letting people know like it's like you're calling them out or anything, but like it is a way to symbolize, hey, I've spent time and like effort in doing this with this particular character, and like I feel like my progression is well enough to own this like cosmetic item that I think like adds some value to it, and the fact that they like it hamstrings that completely on the Switch version, which I think is kind of BS.
Yeah, and there's just like no direct response from neither Epic nor Sony on what they can do to fix this. And the other big thing is like, I know Fortnite came out on Xbox and PS4 a while ago, but when you log in with that, they said nothing about locking your account on Sony.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, so there. I mean, because it's linked to my PC account, because that's a crossplay that you're allowed to have, but like, it never said once anything about, hey, you know, if you play on Xbox, you can't, like, your account's locked to this. Like, so it's really just fucking, like, your whole community. And impressively, they said that Fortnite was downloaded over 2 million times in 24 hours. Yeah, and I think that, you know, allowing crossplay and everything would have more people downloading, more people playing it more often. But they're really just cutting off, like you said, that whole market area, and like I think it's something that Epic needs to come at Sony with, being one of the biggest games right now.
Yeah, and like that's what I was saying when it first happened. It's like I don't know if it'll get resolved, if I'm being totally honest, like resolved in a favorable manner for us. But like Epic, if like Rocket League, we saw last year talk about how easy it is. Like it's literally a button for them to put crossplay between Xbox and PlayStation onto the thing. And actually, Fortnite, back before we knew it was going to be like a huge thing, actually had crossplay online for a little bit, if you remember.
Yeah, I remember
when they accidentally had it and some guy randomly killed somebody and it was like just a bunch of letters and shit. It looked like the fucking the unknown Pokemon like symbols, like when he was trying to and it would turn out it was some dude on Xbox. But
yeah,
with Fortnite being as huge as it is, this is getting like mainstream press coverage on like USA Today and stuff like that. So people are hearing about this, and maybe that is a way, like, because I mean, like, as good as Rocket League is and as like popular as that game is, it's not the same as Fortnite being like, hey, we need to take a step to have this. And like we saw it with the Ninja and Drake thing. The reason that stream happened is because there was crossplay between PS4 and PC, and that is what can happen if like. And so it's really just Sony holding everybody back, if I'm being. It's disheartening. So I hope Epic, not that like Epic has to do this, but like they should take proactive steps to be like, kind of engage their audience to come at Sony and be like, hey, motherfuckers, like what the fuck. So yeah, that's. But we'll also talk about what we thought about Fortnite on Switch later on in the episode. But this is our last news story, and it comes from Nintendo Life. Ryan Craddock, he writes about Super Smash Bros. Possibly being the end of the franchise. He says, with the release of each of the last few Smash Bros. Titles, series director, incredibly hardworking man Masahiro Sakurai has claimed that it could be his last. Continuing this trend, Sakurai is now treating Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as potentially being the final Smash game. While discussing the game after its reveal during the Nintendo Direct E3 presentation, the franchise director said, "This quote: the Smash series may continue in the future, but I don't know if we'll ever be able to pull this off again. So I really hope you enjoy this iteration of the game." We talked about this a little bit off air, but what do you make of this statement? I kind of feel like it's a bunch of BS.
Okay, so yes and no. So I want to say, you know, for those that don't know, and this is what we were talking about, he tends to do this with every Smash game. He says, I don't know if
Melee or Brawl. What's the GameCube one? Melee is the GameCube one, yeah. So that one he said was his last one, like the first time.
And yeah, so like I said, you know, and like you brought up, he does this a lot. But, and this is what I was discussing when we found out during E3 that this is going to have, you know, the entire roster and at some point, probably every map. Like, this just, I don't think this will be the end of it, but I don't see much, like, say the system after Switch, they want to make a new Smash. I don't see it being any different than this one, because I feel like with what he's doing here in Ultimate is gearing Super Smash Brothers up to be more of a games of service.
Yeah.
And so I don't see that they talk about all the time how this game kills him and like he's working himself to death and
I
ruining his
don't want to
life,
discredit
blah
that.
blah. No, but like I think that by making it a games of service, it allows him to, you know, trickle out more content for it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if they think of something, it's not like, oh well, we have this idea, we have to wait until another Smash. But that's not the case because now it's just we have this idea, and in 4 months we can just put it into the game as a DLC or as an update. And I think that that's why, I don't want it to be the last Smash, and I don't necessarily believe that this would be like the final Smash. I just think that this is close to the end, being like the way that it is made and the way that the entire roster is going to be in it. Because if you come out with a Smash next Nintendo gen, if it doesn't have every character and every stage and all the ins and outs of this one, then everyone will just be like, it'll be like what is it? People always like to play the GameCube one, right?
Yeah, Melee.
Over like the Wii U and stuff. Like they always like to go back to the GameCube one because before everyone gets their hands on this one, they're saying that was the best version of Smash. If this becomes the best version of Smash, who's to say it's not just as a games of service just going to keep going? I mean, you look at like Overwatch, there's not going to be an Overwatch 2 for how many years because it can just keep going and from platform to platform, like when next gen consoles get announced, there probably won't be an Overwatch 2, it'll just get brought over.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, that's I don't think that there would ever be anything stopping from getting a graphical upgrade, which would take a little bit longer, but it would be like Ultimate Omega or some bullshit like that, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like this is the closest we've come to seeing the end of Super Smash Brothers.
See, for me, it's kind of like, yes, I understand what you're saying, and in that sense, maybe you can contextualize it, but like the way this is being like taken is like he says this is the end, this is gonna be the last Smash Brothers, and I kind of feel like that's like a little bit not comparing Sakurai like Donald Trump or anything like that, but like when Donald Trump says a lie and then we all write it, or he says something that's like sounds fishy, and then 2 days later it's a lie. And then the next time he says something that sounds fishy, we all just like, oh, this might be true again. Like, no, it's a fucking lie. It's like the same thing with Peter Molyneux when he talks about his next game is going to be the biggest, like, whatever, like, ever. And it's just like, I don't know. I get what you're saying with the whole games of service, and that very well could be the case. But, like, at the same time, it's like they could have just done that with the Wii U one to a certain degree if they wanted to. Because they were adding DLCs with that one.
They were adding the DLCs, but also I think the Wii U version, 3DS version were the first time that they had an opportunity to add DLCs.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So that might have been a good chance for them to test that out. And they saw characters that people really enjoyed and liked using. I just think now it's like the roster's up to 65 characters. And if there's another Smash, I mean, goddamn, if there's more characters, which I would expect that we'll get DLC characters throughout the Switch's lifetime, but if this is the ultimate Smash, and I'm not saying I believe all those rumors every time he says them anyways, I'm just saying with the way that this one's gearing up to be, it just seems like if Smash Ultimate 2 comes out on Switch 2, then it's going to have, fuck if I know, 80 characters. What fucking, like, the last time I can think of a roster, I think this Smash Brothers has a bigger roster than Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah, this roster is ridiculous. And, like, granted, there are, like, a few, like, clones and stuff like
Echo
that.
characters and stuff, but...
Like, on its own, like, even if it was 50 characters, that'd be fucking huge. And the fact that it's, like, 60 and change is, like, is nuts. Yeah. Plus, you gotta imagine that they, going forward, like, ARMS might get a character or some kind of... like franchise we might not know. Like it's not like they're gonna end like new Nintendo franchises. So going forward,
right?
Rabbids could be a character or something like that.
I mean, I fully expect an Octopath assist trophy.
Octopath.
Imagine like that assist trophy pops and like the way that art style is.
Oh, that art style is so pretty. We'll talk about Octopath Traveler a little later. But yeah, no, I get like the heart of this message, but it's so annoying because he says it after every game, which is fine.
Oh, I know.
Like that's his right to get his customers hyped up like in that way, but like I think it's dumb that we're just like taking the bait like again.
Oh, I'm not. But that was like when you were talking to me about it. I'm not taking the bait. I'm just saying that if ever there were a time to potentially believe this has got to be it because it how much bigger can this get? I mean,
That's
like
true.
I said,
I'm
you're
very
gonna get
excited
more.
to play it. Do you
Oh,
think
I'm
they're gonna do a
excited
beta?
too.
Like they did with, I'm sure they will, right? They have to.
Like an online tournament or
Like
some
the
shit.
test online or something. Yeah.
Well, online will be out by then.
They have to do a beta at some point, like you know the
They gotta
test
test
punch they
those
did with
servers.
arms or whatever.
Yeah, and Aces tournament, which is garbage, but
God, dude, I want to play Mario Aces. I really hope that game's like online doesn't suck dick.
I think it'll be good. Reggie said something in a interview, like the last day of E3, that they're looking into the Aces online.
I hope so, because it was
stability.
so in the games I ran without lag in that game were fantastic, but like every other game was terrible. Like
anytime and I think the worst thing was when it was lagging and then like they would serve it and you're like A. And then you just like stand there and just get hit with the fucking ball.
Oh my
god!
Like it was literally I had games where it would go like 4 or 5 serves each in because like it was just like you couldn't return people's serves like effectively enough to where, So, but that's it for the news this week. Light on news. We're not talking about all the E3 stuff. We kind of covered a lot of that in our E3 special episode. But we do want to talk about one thing with E3, and this is our topic of the week. And that is that we want to get our opinions about. Let me make sure the stopwatch is working. Yeah, we want to get our opinions about closed doors demos. So right now at E3, we obviously aren't there. That's where actually where Cheyenne, Aaron, and David are. If you didn't know, no, they're out
camping at E3.
Yeah, they're camping out. But the hottest game going around that's winning a bunch of game of the show kind of stuff is this little game you might have heard of called Cyberpunk 2077 from a little indie studio that made The Witcher 3. And basically what a bunch of journalists have said is that it's about a 45-minute hands-off demo where they see a bunch of gameplay. We learned it's first person, it's choose your own character, a bunch of other details have come out from it. But they're leaving this all behind closed doors that we hear about it. And as like we're just regular average Joe, me and you, man, mom and pop kind of guys here. We don't have access to these behind closed doors kind of things. So like even I understand at 45 minutes that might be long and there might be some rough edges, but if you just released a 2 or 3 minute like kind of teaser like and sand down the hard stuff, we could maybe get some stuff with that. And how do you feel about these, like, because you and I both follow games media a lot, so we hear constantly about all these, like, oh my god, this looks so cool. And that's like from our perspective, it's like, okay, cool, it looked cool, I'd like to see it, you know.
Yeah, I mean I've talked about it on like previous podcasts and stuff. I'm one to I like to reserve judgment on games until I've hands on with them. I will buy plenty of shitty games that look interesting, but there's no reviews, no one's talking about them, or what have you. Like I like to try and decide for myself.
Yeah.
I don't know, because there's plenty of games that like everybody loved that I've absolutely just weren't for me. So hearing everybody talk about Cyberpunk 2077 and first person and character customization and like augmentations sounds awesome, sounds cool, but like until I see it, it's just kind of. It's like, all right, I trust these people, but at the same time, like, they also liked X game, and I didn't like X game. So it's like, and like you said, they showed around about, like, 45 minutes of gameplay, hands off, but gameplay nonetheless.
Yeah, so all we got was that CGI trailer that, like, showed.
We got and the trailer was cool.
It was cool.
Awesome.
It showed, like, it gave us a tone piece, but it wasn't showing us, like, anything.
But if anything, we could take away from some of the shitty parts of E3 where some people like to just show their stuff over and over again. This is something that could have made a second appearance.
No one would
like at Microsoft CG trailers, Sony
gameplay,
2-minute gameplay. I mean, because what did we see gameplay wise? That's like far off. We saw gameplay of Beyond Good and Evil 2, which was rough. We saw
very rough. They didn't zoom in on the screen.
And even more rough fucking gameplay of it last year.
Yeah.
And that game's fucking so far away. And then everyone's hype about Death Stranding. I'm still like hesitant about it. But like all we saw gameplay wise of Death Stranding was walking. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you have bodies, there's a baby, but you're mostly walking. That's what we saw in the gameplay. If you would have shown me 2 minutes of character creator, if you would have shown me 2 minutes of first person gunplay, that would have been like that would have meant so much more to me than seeing like these other games that are like, here's a 1/3 finished world and this is us walking around in it. Like,
especially because it's coming from CD Projekt, who have been known for making the Witcher games, which are third-person melee-driven combat action RPGs, and then changing genres that drastically to a first-person, like shooter-heavy RPG is like a major. It would be like, it's kind of like how we all felt about, not how we all felt, but how Guerrilla launched Horizon, going from like the inverse kind of thing, where they started off as like a first-person story narrative linear corridor shooter kind of thing in Killzone, went to a big third-person action, like third person RPG in Horizon, and we got to see that transition. And the moment I was really sold on that was when they were able to come out and show me, hey, this is the world we're coming in, and this is how it plays. This is what it's going to look like. And like, I can't really visualize that because I don't know, is the shooting going to be more like Destiny in Cyberpunk, or is it going to be like Fallout? Like, because I would lean more towards the Fallout thing, but CD Projekt is such a good studio. Maybe they have some like hired some great people who can design a great shooting, like the shooting mechanics in this game to work really well. So I'd be interested to see what they do there, but we didn't get to see any of that.
Yeah, and I think that the reason I wanted to talk about this mostly was because it's not like people went behind closed doors and saw a minute of what seemed like unfinished gameplay, or 2 minutes, so, even 10 minutes. that
I would kind of get.
This is 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's a large
what if you want to believe everything everybody was talking about, 45 minutes of like more or less solid polished gameplay. And yes, those people are going to get the word out about what your game is, but they're not the only ones buying it. Your consumers,
not only they're not the only ones that are buying it, like, it's so much easier to from just a pure PR standpoint, it's so much easier to control the message when you just show people what you have, rather than show one set of people to tell another larger set of people. Like, it just doesn't.
Yeah, and I mean, I know there's plenty of people that would just, because whoever feels a certain way, they want to believe that. And like, we watch Kind of Funny, and I watch a couple other guys, and I like hearing their input.
Yeah.
But like, for this, say you followed, I don't know, fucking
Jason Schreier.
I can't even think. Let's say you follow Jason Schreier. Now he said he liked he liked I'm thinking of Anthem. But let's say he came out and he was like, saw Cyberpunk 2077, looks weird, don't know if it'll be good game, etc., etc. But say that's the only person that you really follow, like, to a T, to know about game. So then you come in, you're like, man, I don't know about that Cyberpunk 2077. When really it could just not be Jason's thing.
Like, it just could not be his kind of game. And like, CD Projekt could have avoided that whole thing by just showing everybody and letting you create your own opinion.
Right. Yeah. So I don't. I mean, I agree. Like I said, if it was like up to 10 minutes and it wasn't finished, like Beyond Good and Evil, I didn't need to see gameplay of that last year or this year.
Well, and I understand you don't want to show people like regular people, like very unfinished, kind of rough around the edges gameplay, because like if like a games journalist has a little more, like, not saying that all games journalists are perfect, but they understand and not give the benefit of the doubt necessarily, but are able to understand that when they're watching a demo of a game that's not finished yet, they're watching a demo of a game that's not finished yet, and that things can be worked out, as opposed to having like the shock of like maybe one of us sees a character fall through the world and like, oh no, that's trouble in paradise kind of thing,
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. It's just like when.
But yeah,
just bring my to 45
when
minutes. When you have this much to show.
Yeah.
And believe me, I trust CD Projekt Red.
Oh, 100%.
And like, I think they're a great company, and like, I think they'll do a good job. But I still want to like.
I just want to fucking
reserve
see
my opinions. I want to reserve my opinions and my like everything until I can see something.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with what you're saying there, and that is our topic of the week. Just open your doors, man. Just let us in. Let us see the demos. But that brings us to the announcement and delays for the week. Announced Donkey Kong Arcade Archives is coming to Switch, which I know Drew's big fan of. Telltale announced that they're doing a Stranger Things collaboration. So I guess we're gonna see a new show of that's not able to run on any kind of console because their engine is terrible in a few years. Did you see the new stuff for Walking Dead?
I think it looks better.
Yeah, I totally think it does. Where it's got the over-the-shoulder camera, no more fixed perspectives or anything.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what they do. Hopefully, but I
thought it looked a lot better. I'm still holding out the hope. Yeah, I'm holding out hope still that they that they're trying to make a new engine, because how far are we into this and almost to next gen consoles, and they're still running on the same engine they're running on.
So that is hopefully coming in the future. And then Grim Fandango and Broken Age are both coming to Switch, which is cool. Hopefully that means we get to see things like Day of the Tentacle and other Double Fine games maybe make their way over to Switch in the future. But those are all a long way away. So for what's coming out this week and last week, because we didn't talk about it, is Drew. He's going to tell you of the list of games.
Okay, so we talked about it in the E3 breakdown and everything. Unravel 2 is available. It was available on June 9th, right after the conference for PS4 and Xbox One. Right now. Jurassic World Evolution, the dinosaur park game.
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
The Roller Coaster Tycoon Dinosaurs is available now as well. It's out June 12th. And then as the day of recording this, Lego Incredibles, if you're into Lego games, that's out on all platforms June 15th.
Does your son like The Incredibles?
I don't know.
Can he watch Pixar movies? Do those entertain him?
He likes actually watching Cars right now.
Cars?
So,
okay.
Yeah, not completely against that, but it's better than Backyardigans and shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But then on June 18th we have Rocket League. Well, Rocket League had an update this week for, I believe, the
Jurassic Park
beach.
Stuff.
Well, the beach map.
Oh, okay.
On June 18th, the Jurassic Park Wrangler Jeep DLC will be out, all platforms, and then really the biggest release of next week. We got Mario Tennis Aces.
Let's fucking go.
Switch. Yeah, I'm sure we'll bring, as long as that online's working, I'm sure we'll bring you some streams.
I'll give you some fire shots on the court, you know.
I fully expect you to be number one.
I'm gonna get MLG Pro at this fucking game, dude.
And then sorry to everybody else in our group that plays this. I fully expect me to be number 2.
Dude, I'm Charlie Nadal out on the court, dude. I'm clay court specialist. You can't stop me, dude. I haven't decided who my main's gonna be. Playing in the beta, I played a lot of Bowser just because he was so effective with the serve. But that I feel like was more just me cheesing it because the online was so shitty. So hopefully that's not the case.
And they announced too, I don't know when, but I believe free DLC of Koopa Troopa and Blooper. So.
I'm about that. I want to try out Waluigi. I tried him out a little bit in the thing. He's just not super powerful, so I didn't want to.
He's a tricky guy.
Yeah, he's
right?
a trick shot guy. And the trick shots charge your 1 meter a bunch, and I was getting pretty good at using the meter effectively in yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited for this game. It looks like there's a lot of cool systems at work.
And a single player.
Yeah, and single player too. That'll be very, very neat.
Yeah.
But that's it for what's coming out this week. So that brings us to the games we have been playing, and I know one of the games, like you said, got dropped. It came out on whatever. I'm fucking up this sentence. Was Hollow Knight came out on the Nintendo Switch during Nintendo's E3 conference, and you've been head over heels for that game. Well, I don't know if you're head over heels. You've been diving into it. So tell me about Hollow Knight.
I played about 4 hours of it. I do like Metroidvania games, and I mean that's what this is. I can't say many Metroidvania games that I've played as of recent look better than this or sound better than this. The sound design is fantastic. The score to this game is eerie, and it just kind of pulls you in. You know what I'm saying? So you play as this. I'm pretty sure they're bugs. I think they're all bugs. You play as this little bug, and you go through and there's like bosses you can encounter and you collect things to move on and like crests to open new doors. But Metroidvanias are cool in that sense that you can, you can find different ways to new areas, and then always that's why it's the Metroidvanias, because you can backtrack and open up new areas and everything. So clearly there's a lot more for me to do in this game. I've just been kind of focusing my efforts of gaming elsewhere. I do plan on playing it more this week, hopefully, and then maybe I think David and Aaron are also playing it. So maybe
I know Aaron for sure is playing it. I'm not sure about David, but David already played on PC.
PSC. The new PlayStation console.
He I know he played on PC. We actually put it on our top 10 list from last year because of his forceful. He basically he had the marker in his hand and we couldn't do anything to stop him. But not that like maybe the game is good. I haven't played it yet. I am looking forward to it, and it's like $15 I think, right, when it came out.
Yeah, it's $15. That includes all the DLC that's been released on the PC. So it's from what David said, because I've just been waiting for it to come out on the Switch. From what David said, that's a great deal.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of content. It's like it's a lengthy kind of media experience.
He said, depending on like, he said probably anywhere from 20 to 50 hours, depending on how much you want to complete. So definitely a lot of time to be sunk into it, and I look forward to playing more about it.
Cool.
More of it.
Then the other game you and I have both been playing on Switch has been the little Octopath Traveler demo. Not really little, actually, for a demo. There was an Octopath Traveler demo before this, but I never really jumped into that because, like, just me personally, I'm not really into demos. Just because, like, I don't want to like play the same. Like, if I like it, then it's like, oh, I have to play the same thing again. Even if I did like it, I just have to do it over again. But the cool thing about this that really enticed me to jump into it was that it carries over all your progress into the main game when you play it in July or whatever you get it. Whoops.
Right.
So that had me like, all right, why not? I'll give it a chance. And I'd say I'm not like you can play for 3 hours or up until certain, like, I think if you like rush through everything, it'll stop you eventually. Like, but if you play it normally,
you can't progress to a certain like chapter in a character.
But if you play it normally, you're not going to get that far in 3 hours. So,
and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just playing it because I plan on transferring this over and not just starting fresh again when the game comes out. I'm playing it more or less the way that I would want to play a JRPG. I'm taking my time to explore, and just kind of take in the world. I mean, because we said it earlier, this game is absolutely gorgeous. Like, one of the better looking, like, JRPGs of this style. I mean, although, to be fair, it's kind of the first of its style.
Like, it kind of the art style a little bit kind of reminds me, it's more stylized and more, like, kind of, like, it looks like a map that has been, like, crushed and, like, reopened a bunch of times, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's got the folds in it. It kind of reminds me of Darkest Dungeon a little bit, I would say, like, and just the color palette and stuff a little bit. But having played Lost Sphere earlier this year and I Am Setsuna last year or the year before, I can't remember, like, you can already see that this is, like, a JRPG in that same vein that is doing something new and, like, trying to be much more innovative with the new technology that we have today. Whereas those games were just, like, so, like, you go on a big adventure and there is a lot of content in those games. This, like, the fact that this has 8 main playable characters, and they all, like, at least from what I understand, are somewhat unique to one another, in not only the sense that they have different powers, but also in the sense that they have different backstories, different like kind of just like characters that feel fleshed out and feel maybe not realistic is the right term, but feel like some care was put into them. And I know you've been playing the thief characters, though. If you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, so I picked Therion, which I believe is his name, and as
Therion sounds like a Pokemon.
Yeah, that's why I was playing in the English dub or whatever, because I need to learn their names. But so I was playing as Therion, and I did his opening bit. Started his story off in his each, like you said, there's care put into each character, and like they all have certain jobs and like skills that they can use outside of combat. So Therion is a thief, which allows you to any NPC that you can talk to in the game, you have the option to steal from them, and it'll give you like a percentage chance of stealing and all that. So it's cool because you can go up to like just a random NPC and be like, oh well, let's see what they have, and they could have fucking like a dagger that's much better than what you have, but it's like 30% chance to steal it. So you're like a risk reward in that sense. But I ran through his part, and that took me about an hour to get through his prologue or his chapter 1, and then I looked at the map, and so on the map it shows you actually where all 7 other characters are and what towns they're in. It's not like the fog isn't gone, but it'll show you if you want to head towards this direction, that's who you're going to meet up with, and you can do their prologue with them and then have them join your party. So I went on my way to go get the Huntress and played through her prologue, and then right before the podcast I made it to the cleric. So
you're just going in like the clockwise direction, I think. Is that?
I'm going up north.
Okay.
But yeah, so far I'm just like really impressed. The amount of detail and like boss design is amazing. The only thing, and I told you this before we started too, is I don't care so much for like, maybe it's just specifically for like the thief. His English voice actor is like, he's supposed to be like pompous and arrogant, and yeah, it's like super annoying. So I just like, I plan on playing, like once the full game comes out, I plan on just playing it like, subtitles and Japanese voice actors, because I think that's a lot better anyways. But really enjoying just kind of the mix of combat. There's a lot of different ways to, like when an enemy appears for the first time, they have like question mark boxes under them, and those are their weaknesses, but you don't know what they are until you hit them with it. And so
kind of like Persona or whatever.
Yeah. So, and I like that you can see how many different types of weaknesses they have, and then once you unlock a weakness, like you know what to hit them with to try and break their shield so that they have to skip a turn.
Yeah.
But so far it seems that like everybody, at least the thief and the huntress, have 2 different types of weapons. So like the thief, he has dagger and like a sword, and then the huntress has her bow and an axe, and just like having different skill sets to incorporate into the game as well. Like the huntress, she can capture animals that you encounter and then use them for a certain number of turns, and they'll do different types of damage. Like I captured an ice fox, and it'll do like an ice elemental slash. So like if I save that, and depending on how strong it is, you can use it against some monster or something in a cave or like a fireplace. So it's just cool. It seems like there's a lot of care and details, like attention to detail to this game, which is really nice after, like you said, playing like I Am Setsuna and hearing about Lost Sphere from you and like kind of seeing how that game is. Like that's so cookie cutter that it's just kind of nice to finally see something that's
innovating
trying to innovate and bring some new light to JRPGs. So I'm really enjoying it.
I'm
what
playing
have you thought?
Primrose. I'm not like too far into it. Like I'm still in the prologue part. So, but I didn't hate the voice acting, and I was actually really pleasantly surprised that it was like pretty like there was like when I was walking around the town, obviously that stuff wasn't voice acted and like just talking to random NPCs. But
it's like the bigger cutscenes.
But the like not even just the bigger cutscenes, but like the medium cutscenes are also like voice acted. Like and like maybe I was just taken aback by the fact that they were voice acted, because I was like I very much like my games to be voice acted. Like that's me. I know a lot of people aren't into that, but like, and it's not that I hate reading or anything. It's just that like I don't know, I gain more depth and insight into the character when I hear like how they are saying something and their mood. I agree. So it was nice to see all that. Her like where you said he can steal stuff, she can like charm people because she's like a stripper or whatever. And I mean that's basically like she's a dancer in the Pleasure City. Yeah. Like I'm pretty sure she's a stripper. But her like main motivation is that she's trying to get revenge from her father, or for her father, who was like killed because she was like originally like a what do you call it? Not an empress, but like a noble person. And so interesting stuff. I'm interested to see. Like I haven't got to any. Like I haven't played it barely like at all, but I got like a taste of kind of what the story is gonna be like and I got to see the art style in action. Which I mean I've seen that before, but it is very pretty.
Right. It is really pretty.
And the biggest thing I was gonna say was that it's voice acted, and like I didn't hate the voice acting, so it didn't like stick out to me in that way. But maybe it was just because I was so in shock and awe that it was that it was voice acted. So I'm excited because and it does. I couldn't get into the settings to mess with it, so maybe it does. It annoys me in JRPGs when there's not an auto scroll feature. Because I hate having to press X after, like, it's like one sentence of dialogue. Like, just fucking go to the next one.
Especially when it's like, especially when it's voice acted.
Like, why? It's so annoying. Well, it's like that in Persona, too.
And if it's voice acted and it looks like this, like, you know, I would pay attention if it was like one of the not CG cutscenes in Persona.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't pay attention. You know, I would just listen. But if it was like one of the big cutscenes and it was all like
it was like shot in an anime style or whatever.
And I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this because like clearly
they put time and effort into this.
They put time and effort into it, and like I might get something out of this more than just watching two characters stand there and talk. And like while the game is beautiful, I don't see any super amazing cutscenes coming out of it like that. So you know, I like to just listen to it, and the auto scroll I haven't looked for it or anything, but you know that option would be nice.
That is such an easy, like that is like a nitpick thing in games that like when games don't get their UI right regarding like the map and how quests are set up. That's another nitpick thing for me. But auto scrolling in like text heavy games is like a very big, like because it is like a constant annoyance factor.
Yeah, speaking of like quests or whatever, they do a pretty decent job of like allowing you to explore, but also showing you where the direction is that you need to be going.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to like have to search around and stuff.
Right. So there's places you could go probably before you need to go there due to like another character that may be in your party or whatever. But like, so I finished the Thief and the Huntress, both their chapter 1s, and on the map it shows you where their chapter 2s are. So it's like it feels completely optional how you want to go about and experience everybody's story. And that was the other thing is like when you meet somebody else, it says, do you want to know their background? And it gives you an option, but like I totally feel like if I don't get their background, like I'm just missing this huge part of the game because like what's their motivation? Because so far, like Therion, his motivation is he got caught trying to steal from this like noble house, and they're like, well, I put this thieves bangle on you, and now I have the key. I'm not taking it off because I need you to go steal stuff for me. So like that's his motivation because he's one of the best thieves in the land, and he doesn't want this like mark on him, you know.
Yeah.
And then the Huntress, her trainer, he went off to go hunt this beast, and he's gone. So she's trying to like fill that void and like find him, you know, where he went off to, and like become a better hunter. And then the cleric, I mean, I guess I just started with her, but like something happens to where she's like an adopted daughter, and she has to like fulfill this quest. Which when they said that when I was reading about the quest and I was doing this, I was like, damn, this sounds like I am Setsuna. She is. She's
the sacrifice.
She's not sacrificing necessarily, but she's got to go on this long pilgrimage to bring light back. And I was like, ah, man, that sounds a lot like I am Setsuna. But I mean, that's kind of, I feel like that's kind of a normal JRPG story, if you will. Sure. That's like a pretty easy story to tell. But it's cool that everybody has their own like drives and everything, and adding the different types of mechanics and like skills that they can use outside of combat is cool too. So
I'm excited
of how it all comes together.
Yeah, I'm excited to finish my time with the demo and then gear up for the main game in July. But that brings us to the last thing that we are talking about today, which of course is Fortnite, like we always do every week. But this time we got the big update of the Fortnite kind of gameplay and feel on Switch as pro Fortnite players that we are. We competed in the E3 Pro Am tournament. Your partner, of course, was none other than Too Short. I was partnered with E40. We couldn't bring it home though. But we'll be back there next year. But on the Switch, what are we thinking about the Switch version? You played a lot more than I have.
I have, and I said the reason I'm playing on the Switch is because it's an opportunity for me to play with my younger brother and sister. So this is really the only way for me to play with them. But let's see, it runs well. I wouldn't. I mean, I'd say it runs about as well as the mobile game, right? So, and there's plenty of people playing it mobily, or on the mobile devices. That I don't think that's such a bad thing. I didn't come in expecting it to look or play exactly like a PS4, Xbox One, or PC. But my gameplay style that I like to do is kind of the hang
Range,
back
kind
and
of sniper.
I'm like a mid to long range player, and the draw distance in this is just laughable.
Yeah.
You know, I can't see anybody, and when I do see them, they're just kind of like, and I'm like, well, I don't know how I'm gonna hit this person. So, I mean, it's fun. Right now because there's no crossplay. I mean, well, and I'm not playing crossplay with anybody other than just like Nintendo Switch players, I guess.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Oh yeah.
Not to come in and like, you know, everybody's got to start somewhere type deal, and I'm teaching my little sister and my little brother how to play and like trying to help them get better. But like, I've had some of my best games on the Switch, and it's just, you know,
people are not like there is no like John Wick skin where they build or you shoot them once and they build a mansion.
Right, yeah, you don't have any of that. I mean, you have some people that are playing that have brought their accounts over because you can see because they'll have like the Omega skins like fully decked out and everything, and they come and they build, but like even then it doesn't seem like any of the more hardcore players that we're used to playing against, you know, like the more like skilled players or whatever, they're not over on the Switch.
Yeah, if you're taking it that serious, you're probably not wanting to play the downgraded kind of version of it, you know.
Yeah, and it is downgraded, but it's just like a nice breath of fresh air almost, because it's like and like we said when we were talking about the not allowing the cross account between PlayStation and Switch. It's the burner account, so like I'm not sitting there. Not that I really stress about wins, anyways, to be honest, you know. But like I'm not sitting there like, oh man, I finished 80th place, you know, like man, what the fuck, like I don't care.
Yeah, so you're just wilding out, just going out there like
and just fucking trying different shit. I'll run around with the you know the LMG or the Gatling gun or whatever, and just why not? Because I'm not trying to like fulfill a role, which when we play I try to fulfill a role.
Yeah. So for me it was really a mixed bag in the sense that I wasn't like it runs okay. I would say it's 30 FPS, which normally in games, I'll be honest, does not bother me. But for some reason, maybe it's because I played so much Fortnite and have like, not that I take it seriously, but like I try in Fortnite. Like I like to succeed in that game. So having that like kind of crutch, even though it is for everyone, it is a bit of a letdown for me, I guess, because I haven't played the game in that way very much. And then also, this is more of a me issue, I guess. But like when I play the Switch, my Switch isn't direct connected, so like I was getting some lag and stuff like that. And I assume that's more me, but like also like I'm not sure exactly.
Do you have unlimited data
at my house? Yeah.
No, like your phone.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I heard. I forget where I read it. I haven't tried it yet, but I heard if you take your iPhone or Android and you set up a hotspot on that and connect to that. It said that works better than wirelessly to your Wi-Fi.
Interesting.
So it might be. I mean, but still, why the fuck can't we hardwire the Switch?
Yeah, it's not like everything in my room is hardwired, and like I do that because I have so many like electronics like all in one area. So like I don't want like all the wires getting or I do want the actual wires getting crossed, but I don't want like signals like going to everything. You know what I'm saying? But so I don't know. It's not the best in that sense, but also then I tried to play it wirelessly, and I cannot play this game with Joy-Cons. Like it is not.
It's tough.
It's like it's too. And again, it's part of it is because I played the game for 300, 400 hours on PS4, and I'm so used to that controller and the movement and the feel of all that stuff. But the Switch Joy-Cons, the little nubs are too small. The triggers, like the triggers on the Pro Controller aren't like perfect, but they're so much better than the like little clickety clackety triggers on the on the Switch thing. And like I don't know, it's just and in a game like Fortnite, it's not like Mario Tennis. Even I was having a little trouble with the Joy-Cons, and I switched to the Pro Controller and thought it was much better. But where it's so high energy, quick reflexes, like build a wall, build a little thing right here, do a 1x1, build it up 3 high. thing, and I'm trying to do so much at once. I feel like everything is so congested on the Switch controller. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I played a couple matches like handheld while my brother played on his TV, and yeah, I mean I did all right still, but it was definitely like I don't know, like if I was auto running and trying to like fuck with the inventory, I would know, and like I would try and like look at the map, like trying to hit minus is so close to the joystick that like I would accidentally just tap it just a smidge, and it's so sensitive that I just stop running. And like especially if you're running from the storm or whatever, playing like handheld is not the ideal situation if you're playing on Switch, just because like you said, everything is so congested, and definitely play it with a Pro Controller if you want to try and get better at the game and like do better. I feel like, but yeah, and honestly, with like you're talking about the 30 FPS and everything, and like just the downgrade that it is, man, it hurts my fucking eyes. I cannot play it on the Switch for very long.
It like, I don't know, and I feel like it is just because like it's not noticeable to me in a lot of games, but that's because like I've never seen that game run in 60 FPS, kind of, you know what I'm saying? And it's not, and like even if I have seen it run in 60 FPS, it was like on a YouTube video that I watched for like 2 minutes. It wasn't like I spent 400 hours watching this game run. Like, and over time get even better, like stabilizing. Like, remember like whenever you used to shoot a Scopey, the whole game would fucking freak out. Like, and so like now like the game has gotten better. There used to be way less draw distances and it would blur stuff out, but now it's like very like solid draw distances unless you like look at Dusty Depot from like a mile away. Then it's like all fucking Play-Doh. But like it is so much nicer. And having spent that much time with the game on a nicer system, it just, for me, like it hurts to downgrade it that much. And I felt the same way about the mobile thing, but also the mobile thing I was way more against because fuck mobile games and I'm not playing on my fucking phone. You know what I'm saying? Fuck those nerds, Drew.
Man, you played fucking.
Oh yeah, no, I like mobile games. I like Peggle Blast. I like Monument Valley. I like what else?
There's some. What's that? Super Hexagon.
That's a great one. Threes, obviously, great game. Been playing this game called Snake versus Block. It's real dumb.
Did you see that on Instagram?
I did see it. Dude, the Instagram ad got the fuck out of me on that one.
I was like, I Gorgola. Like, sometimes they put Instagram ads up and they're like, can't make it past the fucking level 2, and then I play it and I'm like, made it to level 5 and died, so I'm just gonna uninstall this now.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see if, I don't know if they'll improve it at all, but if they would improve it maybe only slightly, maybe that would. But yeah, why can't you direct or hardwire your Switch? That annoys me. I mean, I understand why you can't, but like I think you should.
That's why the Switch Dock Plus. Just wait for it. We'll get it.
To be honest. But that is our show for this week. This has been the Current Gaming Podcast, episode 58. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/currentgaming, on twitter.com at currentgaming_, at youtube.com/currentgaming, and on twitch.tv/currentgaming_. My name is Charles Wade. You can find me on Twitter at Charles Titha, and on Instagram at Charles Titha. Hashtag Charlie's 1 Minute Reviews. Check them out. And then Drew, where can everybody find you?
Only on Twitter at Trophy Pops.
Only on Twitter at Trophy Pops. We're tweeting about the World Cup this week.
I was gonna tweet something about Ronaldo earlier, but I didn't.
Yeah, we're coming this episode right after Ronaldo scored a hat trick to save Portugal's ass against the. Did you think that first one was a penalty? I thought it was a penalty.
I wasn't watching.
Okay,
I didn't start watching until like
he kind of initiates the contact a little bit, but like I don't know. I guess the guy stuck his leg out. Like I shouldn't.
Oh no, yeah. Even if he didn't make that much contact, I saw the replay. Like he straight up like put his leg out.
Yeah, like so. I don't know. Early World Cup you said Belgium, right? Was that your?
Yeah, I guess I'll stick with that.
Yeah,
but you said who'd you say?
Iceland is who I want to win.
Yeah, well, and I don't want Belgium to win. I think Belgium will win or will go far. But man, Mo Salah is such a genuine fucking dude.
Yeah,
and Ramos has fucked him so much because now he didn't even play today at the time of us recording, and man, I just want him to do well. He doesn't have to win, but like
I think they have a realistic like they can beat Saudi Arabia and Russia. Like they're not like, and they had without Salah against Uruguay, they did pretty well.
It's only 1-0. So I mean,
So
Who
yeah,
knows?
I'm interested. I really think I think Belgium has a good chance. I think France has a really good chance too.
If France does really well and Paul Pogba carries that team, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Dude, all your Rashford's gonna have a great cup with England. That's gonna be all.
I understand pride for your nation, but where's the fucking pride for your team, man? I've seen Pogba hit the free kick like in the middle of last season. He hit that nasty free kick to score, and then Rashford hits that like last week or whatever. He hits that nasty
one
goal
right outside
from,
the
like,
box. That was dirty.
And I'm like, y'all never did this once.
Where was this?
Sell Pogba and pick up Gareth Bale or something. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. So those are our early World Cup. This has been current soccer talk here on the Current Gaming channel. You can follow us everywhere on all social media. It's down at the bottom. This has been episode 58 of the Current Gaming Podcast, and peace.